Hey, good Monday morning, folks. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. I think some good news for some of you that are going to probably miss the snowstorm now as it inches south and east, maybe about another 25 miles. So it keeps inching it out of the Grand Rapids area, out of Saginaw and Bay City now. But yes, Detroit and Ann Arbor, you've been in the heart of it and you're still in the hearts of it. So let's get to it, and thanks for joining me this morning on the MLive Morning Weather Update. This is brought to you by Lush Lawn in Michigan, and I'm going to have some good stuff for you too, because once we get through the cold, we have a drastic turnaround and continue to head into spring. All right, so for those of you just joining us for the first time, I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Hey, we're 1,300 strong this morning. Good morning, Bobby Hessel. Good morning, Cherie Martin and Larry Mockridge. Good morning, April Bolton from Lake Gladwin. Secord Lake in Gladwin. I'll spit it out yet. It's Monday, right? Here we go. All right, so today we have showers moving across lower Michigan, rain showers. As we get into the afternoon, right in there, afternoon and evening, they'll be in the southern part of the state. Not real heavy, but enough to keep you damp and keep you on the cold side. And then tonight, here's tomorrow morning, and this is tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, and then tomorrow evening, and tomorrow overnight. Now, this is the European model. Interesting thing is the U.S. model has been upgraded. It's been south all along. It continues to move farther south. It may actually end up being the best model, but the interesting thing is the European has been going wholeheartedly toward the U.S. model. So maybe the upgrade actually did something. So let's call this a Tuesday night snowfall. Let's say Saginaw, Caro, Sanilac County, southeast of Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, and the heaviest of it in that darker blue, that's Detroit area, Monroe, Ann Arbor, Jackson, and in the St. Clair Shores area. And then quickly, Wednesday morning, it is gone. Maybe some bursts of snow moving in to the thumb. That's lake effect snow. After that, we've got some cold mornings. Well, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, I'm going to show that to you. We've got some cold mornings. And our next precipitation would come in on the weekend with some rain, maybe snow showers in far northern lower Michigan. And then I do see a turnaround in temperatures, and we'll get back to a southerly wind. All right, we look at the European, we look at the U.S. model called the GFS a lot in the long term. Then we jump to what we call the North American model when it gets closer to us. And that's where I think we can use now. So this is this afternoon and this evening, the showers coming into Detroit, Ann Arbor, all points of southern lower Michigan. And then we go through tomorrow morning into the afternoon. We're at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we're at Tuesday evening. And the NAM model a little bit farther to the north and west by about 10 miles, but still the same theme. Heaviest snow, Jackson to Detroit, Ann Arbor, the far southeast corner. Not in the snow now, Grand Rapids, Bay City, and parts of the Saginaw area. And we're in the middle of the night, Tuesday night, the snow coming down in the southeast. Notice, northern Michigan, you get to miss out on this. Usually you're the one that's stuck with the late season snow. This time, it's the southeastern part of the state that is stuck with the late season snow. All right, so what you all want to know, how much? Okay, Sean Newbecker, here we go. So this is the European, and I think it's probably a pretty good forecast. And it probably encompasses the melting on the ground and all the moving parts of this. So I would call it a 2 to 4 inch snow now from, say, Oakland County, south of Lansing, into Detroit, into Ann Arbor, and south. Now, Saginaw, Grand Rapids, probably not much, if any, accumulation. And in the thumb to the Flint area to Lansing, maybe up to an inch. This will be transient because remember, the ground, even though we're going to be cold, the ground is still 40 degrees. So once the precipitation stops, once the snow stops, then we're talking about melting rather quickly in the course of just maybe a few hours. This is the NAM model. It's a little bit heavier, a little bit farther north, still out of Grand Rapids, still out of Saginaw, but in Flint, in Lansing, in Battle Creek, Kalamazoo, and it's, instead of 2 to 4, it's maybe 2 to 5, but I think 1 to 4 is probably pretty good. Frank Milkey, how much in Lapeer? I would say Lapeer could be about an inch. Tom Ramsey, so no snow for Niles. Real close, maybe about an inch. Michelle C, how much for Lansing? Let's go back and let's use the European model, okay? Lansing, you're probably looking at an inch, maybe. Hey, Maria Camargo from Brazil. Hola to you, too. Michelle C is ready for the 70s. All right, so there's our snowstorm, southeast. Instead of the southeast third, as it looked the last 2 days, it has trended southward. Now we'll call it the southeast quarter. But we do have some cold temperatures. So tomorrow morning, we'll be down into the 30s in the southern half, 20s in the northern half. Wednesday morning, it's cold, down into the mid-20s. Now, that's a damaging freeze if you have any fruit trees in your area that have flowered out. 25 will freeze a lot of those buds. Okay. What time does the storm move out of Michigan Wednesday morning? Looks like it's done about sunrise for the most part. And Thursday morning, cold temperatures, the whole state probably below freezing, probably into the mid to upper 20s. Jill and John Carr, Harbor Beach, you're looking at maybe an inch. Friday morning, not as cold, but still chilly, still some pockets at freezing with frost. And then Saturday in the 40s, Sunday in the 30s still. And it looks like after that is when the temperatures start to take off. Here's the high temperatures. So we're still 60 in Detroit, while it's 40 in Traverse City today. And then the temperatures crash and we're into the highs only in the 30s tomorrow and 30s to about 40 on Wednesday. Low 50s Thursday. Remember, any sunshine will pop us quickly in the 50s. Check the calendar. Friday into the low 60s, and the weekend is in the 50s. But the one last thing I want to leave you with is the weather pattern change coming, okay? So what you're seeing here, Nancy Engel, Frankenmuth, trace to a half inch, and then as soon as it stops, gone. Shannon Green, hey, no problem. Grand Rapids, looks like you're out of the snow now, maybe an inch in places, depending on where you live. Chuck Gillen, Saginaw, looks like it's going to be out of the snow, maybe an inch, depending on where you live. Helen Spike, Jackson, you're right in it. You're a 1 to 4 inch, but I would probably plan on 2 or 3. Dennis and Grand Blanc, probably an inch, maybe 2. All right. And what I want to show you is we're looking at the European, and we're looking at next week at this time. And the wind finally turns to the south. We've been a week or so without a south wind. We go out 10 days, yeah, there's a storm to our west, southerly wind. That gets us into the 70s and really makes us feel like May. And at that point, it's April 28th. So just a few more folks hanging in there, and you're listening to MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa on the MLive Morning Weather Update, brought to you by Lush Lawn. Let's see, somebody's asking about Troy. Troy, you're probably an inch or 2 inches. Dexter, probably the same. Lori Hensler, rain for Grand Rapids? Rain today, and the precipitation with that storm may mostly miss Grand Rapids. Deborah Hauser, you got that right. Flannel sheets, 1 more week. My wife's already been asking me about that, and I think I already told her about 2 weeks to convert over, and I think we did, but oh well. Traverse City, you miss out on the snow, although I would say it's cold enough that I think there could be some scattered lake effect rain and snow showers. How much between Jackson and Battle Creek, Sylvia Ray? Probably 1 inch to 2 inches, maybe 3 inches in the Jackson area. Gladwin, April, Bolton, no. You miss out on this. Fenton, inch. Jennifer, Ely, so Aranac and Bay County are good. Yes, you don't get the precipitation, or you don't get the snow, I should say. Midland, you don't get the snow. Whittemore Lake. That's south or north? I can't really remember. Harrison, you miss out on the snow. Mason, you get into it. Heather Gray, you get into maybe 1 inch, maybe 2 inches. Remember, roads warm, ground warm. So if it comes down heavy, it can stick. It can get slick for an hour or two. As soon as it stops, you've got a warm surface, and it's melting and melting, and it goes away very quickly. So we're not going to sweat this one. What we are going to be concerned about are low temperatures in the mid-20s. If you have any plants that would be damaged by a hard freeze, you'll want to protect those, okay? So thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Watch for updates on this storm system today from me. Could it change some? The trend has been south and east. It could continue to inch a little south and east. I don't think it gets out of the Detroit area. I don't think it gets out of Ann Arbor. But just north of that, Oakland County, possibly. And just north of that, Ypsilanti, someone's asking. Amanda Johnson, possibly. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. We'll keep an eye on the cold. And then we'll quickly start to focus out into the future where it looks like spring. How's that sound? Take care. Have yourselves a great Monday. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.